Welcome to day 3 of 5, Ditch the Dabbling and Grow Your Business on Social Media Without Paying for Ads edition. Okay, we're on day 3. My voice is still sounding like this. You betcha. It's going to be a minute before this thing goes away, I think. So I'm going to get into it because I've got another training to do after this in our group, and I want to make sure that those people get served too. So welcome if you're coming in, and welcome if you're catching the replay at any point in time. I hope this is really helpful, and if you didn't catch days 1 and 2, what we did on day 1 was we talked about the content that actually converts into sales, content that converts into clients, and what you can do about that. If you didn't catch that, you should go back into my feed, and there are a couple links that reference that, but that is a training that has been pretty important for a lot of people so far, which is great. I've been getting a lot of messages about that and the little breakthroughs and like epiphanies that people have had based on that training, which is so great. I'm so glad you guys are getting help from this. And day 2 yesterday, we talked about calling in the clients, how to kind of like create this magnetism around you, your brand, your offer, and what you can do to bring in more people into your network, into your circle, and to really start nurturing that so that they can become clients, because you don't just like grab them out of thin air. You have to create that space. Andrew, wake up with Sandra in the mornings. I should have an AM show. Who are we kidding? I could never have an AM show. My brain doesn't even work until 11 a.m. This is risky to be doing this stuff at 9:30. I know. Especially when the allergies are like, oh, that's cute. You wanted to sound normal? How about an 80-year-old with emphysema from Brooklyn who smokes a carton of Pall Malls a day? That's what Chaz told me today. That's what I sounded like. All right. So today, it'll be a hit, a smash hit. Today we're going to be talking about what your business might be missing and probably is missing. And for some of you who, I know, right? Ew. For some of you who've been around for a little bit, you're doing it right. You are, you have the offer that makes sense to your community, and that's great. But for most people, and let me know too who you are in the comments if you are like the people that are creating this offer versus the one that I'm about to talk about. You should be proud of yourself. It's good. You're ahead of the game. But for everybody else, I'm here to correct the mistake. A lot of times people will go all the way to, people will spend years doing this and thinking that they can't succeed in business. I can't seem to do it. I've got this great offer. I can really help people. But nobody's buying it, or not enough people are buying it. And I can't sustain a lifestyle in this way. I thought this was going to be a good idea. I know my stuff is good, but like, why aren't they buying it? So I'm going to help you out. I'm going to fix that problem today. Seriously. And this one thing that I'm going to give you has helped so many people for free be like, oh, wait, I switched the model, doing the same things, but I switched the model, and now I can afford this great lifestyle. Now people are referring me. Now it's easier to close sales. Like, this is so much easier. Oh my gosh, this is easier. So if you have an expertise, and you, number 1, if you have an expertise. Number 2, you create something that you think will really help people, or you know it'll really help people because you already do this. Like, you've already done this in life. You've already kind of tested this in the market. Or you've got some kind of a workbook, a pre-recorded thing or whatever, and then you try to sell it for a low price. Like in this tiered fashion that you learn about. You learn about what about the value ladder? I learn about that, and shouldn't I be doing a value ladder? So shouldn't I have something super low priced, something a little bit higher priced, something maybe higher priced than that, and like I'll work them up the ladder so that they have all these different pricing options for me. Bing, bang, bang, and I've got a menu. And so not many people maybe jump on that, right? Like, you've got all these options, or maybe they just don't feel like it was worth it. You don't know that unless you ask them. So if people aren't buying your offer, if this is the way that you're doing it, right? I'm just walking out an example of what a lot of people have done that doesn't work. If you do this, if you've got multiple pricing offers, a lower tier, really cheap, all the way up to pretty expensive or super expensive, and not a lot of people are buying it, you question yourself, and you're like, maybe that's not what they want. Maybe they want something different. I'll create a new product. So you create a new product and you price that somewhere in the middle, or at the top or bottom end, or whatever. And then they don't buy that, and you don't get too many sales, and you're like scrambling, wondering if this business is even viable online, right? Let me know if you've ever had those feelings, because man, like I had those feelings in the beginning before I created the shift. Me and so many other entrepreneurs started that way, thinking, well, that's what the experts are saying. I'm sure I'm supposed to have this big value ladder. I'm supposed to meet people where they're at every point in the game. It's what's nice is that it's so much easier than that. It doesn't have to be this hard, but that's what we think we have to do, right? Like, go anywhere and you learn about this value ladder. So value ladders are important, but it's not what you think necessarily. So you might do this again and again and again, and you go through 2 years and you're like, I guess I suck, or I guess I'm expecting to get $1,000 a year and that's all I can make out of this. So you believe it's you that's the problem and it's not you, which is great. It's not you. So let me know if this sounds familiar, if you've had any of that cycle, even for months at a time, if not years or whatever. But I just got a text message from somebody saying, I'll meet you at lunch, stay hungry. I will always stay hungry, obviously. Who do you think you're talking to? Thomas says, does anyone else like how Sandra can go from mobster boss to Fortune 500 to overalls? I have one mode t-shirt. Dirty shirt, clean shirt. I like that, Thomas. You're so versatile. Dirty shirt, clean shirt. It's like, well, you know what it ends up being? It's like, kind of like, what's clean? What do I feel like wearing? What's less of a hassle, What's lying around? But yesterday, to be fair, I'm going to sidetrack for a second. Yesterday, to be fair, no, Monday, we did have a gala celebration for our clients. So, mobster, I had the suspenders ready, you know what I mean? Like, suspenders hold up pants better than belts. True or false? I'm on the suspender gang, okay? So if that sounds familiar, you're not alone. But we're going to get into the training. So what we're talking about with that value ladder that I just explained in that fashion, where you're like really low price, work it up little by little to this big expensive price, that is essentially a menu or a la carte. That means I can buy this one, or I can buy this one, or maybe I'll buy a couple of them and group them together and see if those work in combination with each other. And the thing is that you shouldn't be creating products first. You should be serving people first. So let's start there. We've got the a la carte menu item problem. That's actually a problem, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But hey, Pookie, how you doing, love? Andrew wants to know who's trying to keep up their pants. Not me. Not anybody, right? Pants are stupid. So the a la carte menu item stuff is a little broken. I'll tell you why. But remember yesterday's training and the day before, we're talking about serving first, not creating products first. You can't create a product, even if you think you can't create a product unless you've tested what they need. What do they actually need? And you walk them through it. And typically that's done in the beginning for free, when you're just like testing your ideas before you're actually packaging something and marketing it. So if you're able to do that, if you're going out and helping people for free, you learn pretty quickly what they actually need and what they don't. So if you are an expert in this and you've been doing this thing for years, online, offline, or whatever, and you're like, I want to bring it to social media, well, you don't need to test it. You know what's good. You know what's good. You know what'll work. You know what'll bring people through. You know what not to do, which is great. You're ahead of the game, right? So if you're actively listening, actively serving like that, and actively know how to fix people, how to help them with their trouble, then here's what you need to do. And for people who have been doing a la carte menu items, who have all of these things packaged up to try to meet people where they're at every step of the game, here's what you have to do. You have to create something worthwhile for them that will give them the end result that they're looking for. The problem with a la carte and menu items is a couple things. People get so confused with all of these options when they're struggling with something. If they're in struggle mode, having a list of options is overwhelming. And they think, maybe I'm so effed up that I need all of these things. Should I buy all of these things? Well, that's super expensive. How do I put those things together? In what order should I walk through those things? Do I need help and support while I do those? It's just a lot, right? And if you even get on a sales call, say that's like you're offering that on a menu or whatever, on a website, or on your social media page in some way. And say you even got them on a sales call, and you're talking to them and you're saying, well, I have this, and 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 I have this. And they're like, well, what do I need? And you're like, well, whatever you want. Like, you can, whatever's good for you. Like, whatever price point you're comfortable with. You can have this or this. And they're like, well, like, you're the expert. Please tell me how to fix this. You know what I mean? Versus the idea of these people struggling with this thing that you can help them through. Forget about pricing for a second. Forget about like, oh, I'm nervous about what they can pay for and what they can afford and what they're willing to spend or whatever. If they're struggling and you're the expert, what do they need? You're the expert. You know what they need. You've seen a bunch of people go through this stuff. You've seen a bunch of people sit in pain with this stuff. So you are the one who knows what they need. They don't. They're in the middle of struggle. They have no idea what to do to get out of it. Otherwise, they'd be out of it. So if they're coming to you for help, make it easy for them and walk them through it. That's why these sales conversations are so important. If you have a high ticket offer, and you should, ditch the a la carte, ditch the menu items, have a high ticket offer that gives them the full-blown result. And a high ticket can be anywhere between, typically anywhere between $1,500 and up. I mean, $1,500 is not really a high ticket offer. It's really not. So maybe more like $3,000-$5,000 and up is a high ticket offer. And or what most people would consider a high ticket offer. So $3,000 to $5,000, say, to start. But this has to be like a full-blown transformation, right? This has to be really getting somebody out of a sticky situation, a serious pain point, a real frustration, something that's actually holding them back in life, and brings them through it fully. And so whether you're in relationships, wealth, nutrition, like any of that stuff, you can do that. There's so many ways to do that for people. There's so many different types of people to serve that way, but give them that, because that's what they actually need. They don't need a little like calendar that helps them fill in the things that they have to do. That's not going to solve their whole problem, right? That's a piece of the puzzle. They don't need a grocery shopping list for the week for like good ideas to buy food, or like to make for their healthy meal selections or whatever. That's not going to solve their problem. What's going to solve their problem is the habits, the training, the education on what they should be eating, when they should be eating it, for their body type, for their hormone balance, for everything, for the goals that they're looking to achieve in a certain amount of time they're looking to achieve it. They need the full-blown transformation. They don't need a shopping list. Do you know what I'm saying? So like having all of these things on a menu versus being like, okay, cut the crap. You've tried all the free stuff everywhere. You've bought these little things here and there. I know you. I know you. You're my ideal client. I know who you are. I know what you've been through. I know how much you're struggling. I know what your hurt is, and I know where you want to be. Here's what you actually need. You need this full-blown transformation. So if you ditch the a la carte and the menu stuff, and you say, I'm gonna go full bore on this transformational offer, this flagship offer, this core offer, main offer, whatever you want to call it, I'm gonna bring them from A all the way to Z. You focus just on that, and you interview people for that. You talk about that. You give free help all the time about that on your social media page, in those like discovery calls, if you have them, if you're just starting out in the online space. If people see that all the time, there's your value ladder. If you're delivering all the goods for free, like I'm doing a free freaking live training for 5 days on how to build your business the right way on social media. People have paid me thousands and thousands of dollars in workshops to do this. Thousands. I'm giving it away for free. Why? Why would you do that, Sandra? If I gave my stuff away for free, then nobody would hire me. Yeah, they will. Because they need you in it. You can definitely do what I'm telling you to do on your own. Like there are going to be people who watch this who do it, and they're like, amazing, thank you. That was actually free and step by step. That's amazing. Otherwise, I would have spent 2 years like piecing it together on YouTube or something. But they come to me and become a client of mine because I'm speaking into their business. I'm looking at the details of their day. I'm asking them questions about their life. I'm asking them questions about their service, about their clients, and we are catering it and detailing it and making sure that they get exactly what they need out of this. We're talking about the problems they have during their week and the systems that they have or don't have, and we're tweaking all of that and making that efficient, making that productive, and making that financially viable. So that's why people come to me. So I can give you the stuff all day long, but people come to work with you because you're going to walk them through it. Because people have questions along the way. Because people need to not doubt themselves as they implement. That's why people will come to you. So you need to stop being afraid of giving that stuff away for free. Ditch the value ladder and just give it away. Talk about service. Talk about days 1 and days 2. Connecting with these people, calling in your clients, and also creating content that slams, right? Give it away for free. Let me hit those questions really quick, or the comments. Hey, Kayjan. What time is it, sir? I'm ready to shoot hoops. Hey, John, you know what it is. We ball hard on Wednesdays. We really, really do. I don't normally work on Wednesdays, but it's happening today. This is happening. My family's giving me grace to come to the office. Amy. I thought I could afford up to 5K max and wound up dropping 27K last year to work with a life coach, ADHD coach. Worth it. I needed the full experience. Exactly. So think about that, guys. Amy just said, like, I thought I'd max out at 5K. She ended up dropping $27,000 on a coach. Worth it. Because you know what? Her results were worth the exchange of the money. She wanted the results more than she wanted the $27,000 to hold on to. That's the reality of this. It's like, while we're talking about this, by the way, I really need to say, do not put your money issues emotional issues around money, do not put that on your clients. And what I mean by that is don't assume that they have these struggles around money like you do, if you do. Don't assume that they can't pay or won't pay because you think it's expensive. Your idea of expensive is all subjective. It's all relative to your own experience. For some people that I talk to, they talk about private jets and the multiple homes that they have. They talk about it like they're these tiny little assets, like they got a bracelet yesterday or something. And for other people, it's like, you bought a what house for how much? And they're like sick to their stomach. Why would you pay so much for a house that you only use 2 months a year? And other people are like, why wouldn't I? It's fun. So like, don't put your money blocks in terms of pricing your program on other people. Look at the value of what you're coming through. For Amy, $27,000 for the year to get her to a new, better, healthier, joyful, maybe calmer, more peaceful state was worth it to her. It's relative. So that's really important when you're pricing your programs. And when you are delivering a true transformational offer like Amy was receiving, it's really important. The other thing is about this, guys, they're not going to pay you if you price your transformation low. This whole, I'm going to change your life in this way. It's going to take me 10 to 12 weeks to do it with you. You'll never have these problems again. You'll have the roadmap. You'll have the success map for this, and you'll never have to worry about it again. It's going to be $375. Come on, man. How many hours are you putting in with that with me? Like, how much effort did this take you? How long did it take you to learn it? And you're delivering it to me for what, $375? Unless you are serving millions at scale with enormous systems, a full-blown team, and ad sets to support this, and like upsells, you're going to lose money. That's just bad business. It's not even a smart business model. You're also giving your value away in a way that you're not giving it away. You're dropping your value, your perceived value to the clients, to the consumers that are watching that offer. So they're thinking you're full of crap. You definitely can't do it. Not only do you not know how to price it, but also like it can't be worth it if it's that low. We have those, there's the psychology of the buyer personas is insane. We all know it to be true. We know it when we get called out on it. You know what I mean? Like when you go start out getting asked questions about why you buy what you buy, you start seeing it about yourself. And like for me, I am a sucker for good branding. Like I respect good branding, but I also really, really appreciate clever branding. I appreciate attention to detail. So if somebody has new, different, clever, or high quality packaging, for instance, I'm on it. Like it's going to be hard to pull me away from that thing. And I don't like to shop. I'm not a shopper. I stay away from in-person stores. Like I don't go into stores. So for me to see something like that, I'm like, I just like to attach my identity to clever brands who are doing it smartly and who are serving people well with good products. So for instance, all right, catching up in the comments. So, hey, Kristen, welcome. 11, Keijan, you're doing it. You're staying up late. Popcorn and wine or something. I don't know. What do you pair with popcorn in Australia? Is it different? I don't even drink wine. What am I saying? Amy said, I think I told you last year, but I actually passed up the first coach. You did tell me that I reached out to because she straight up told me I couldn't afford her. Yeah, that was a big mistake. Huge, Julia Roberts. So stupid to say that. You don't know what people can or can't afford. Don't put it on them. Don't do that to them. That's disrespectful. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Amy. That's right. So Amy, she got a loan for it. Like people find a way to pay for what they need, guys. Just because you think you know who they are based on what you see on social media, don't judge people like that. If they need the help, help them. Alex says, what a concept. I can give you this stuff for free, but come to work with me so I can help you implement what I teach to get your best. Yes, exactly, Alex. That's exactly what it is. Because think about it, guys. You can learn anything you want on YouTube. You want to save money on your roof? Learn how to roof yourself. You can put the roof on yourself. Do you want to? Do you want to risk your life and also injure yourself and also carry all that stuff up onto the roof and also rent the equipment and also no. And also what else could you be doing with that time? Like we pay for stuff that we don't want to do ourselves, or we pay for stuff that we don't know how to do, or we pay for stuff that we want to do faster than we could have done it on our own. And that's why people buy services from you. Yeah, I could eventually learn this in 10 years maybe, or in 7 years, or in 3 years. I'd like to learn it in 6 months and have a business that's like earning 6 figures in 6 months. Can you help me do that? Yeah. Like if you don't want to waste 3, yeah, let's do it. I had kernels, but the fire you just dropped gave me fresh popcorn. Okay, Sean. I love you. Hey, Henrik. I love that name. Gosh, that's cool. Henrik, where's your name from? Where is that birthed from? It sounds Nordic and wonderful. So the real transformation, today's all about like what your business might be missing. So many people are putting that a la carte offer out there, and they're putting menu offers like, here, choose from these things. And they're pushing the people to a website, for instance. Don't make them pick. They don't know what they need. You do. So that's why when you have a transformational offer, you can't just like put it on a website and hope that people will come. You have to connect with people, have relationship with people, let them trust you, because that transformational offer is something where they're going to work closely with you. They're not going to work closely with you if they don't know, love, and trust you. And you want to pre-qualify them by getting them on the sales call, because you want to make sure they're a good personality fit, that they're actually going to do the things, that they're actually going to be compliant, that they're actually going to put in the work, because you're spending your time, energy, expertise, like your focus on them. And if they're not going to show up and do the stuff, or if they're going to poison the waters in a small group setting and be negative and annoying and like not do the things and make excuses, like that's going to ruin it for everybody, I promise. So that is a really important, so the flow of all of this, is, you know, putting days 1, days 2, and day 3 together in this way. We're talking about showing up and giving lots of free value that's actually something that people might pay for, you know, and do it sequentially so that you can string it together for people so they don't have to like hunt for your trainings all over the place. Put it together like I'm doing, like in a sequence where they can follow step by step and build on that and get a better result. Give that stuff away for free. And then when you do that, you know, you're talking to the right people, you're making sure that you're calling in the right clients, you're doing it in the right places, you're connecting with them in those areas that they're hanging out, whether it be in person, if you happen to be in person, or in those groups or areas online that they do hang out, and deliver that like slamming advice way better than other people are doing. Stand out like that. Be that person. Give it away for free. You know those people on social media that are giving it all away for free, and you're like, man, they're like dropping serious tips. I can't believe they told me that. But you want to work with them. You end up buying their services because they're going to walk you step by step through everything and handle all those issues and doubts and whatever that come up in the mix. Allergies suck, by the way. Oh my gosh, I wasn't ready for this until August. Luckily, I have water to spill on myself. It's not really water. It's got a flavor to it. I'm cheating. So then you get into so following that sequence, you have the people's interest, you have earned their trust, you have earned their favor, you have delivered for them, you have solved some problems along the way, they're getting a little bit better, now they want to go faster. They're like, her stuff works, this is great, I want to go faster. So, so you put your offer out there, you let them know, you know, I can do this, yes, here's what I actually do. If you need more help with that, if they're asking like, well, what about this? Well, actually I do that in my private group, or I do that in my small group training, and I have a course launching, or I have a program launching in the next month. I can definitely keep you posted about that, and we can definitely get on a call and see if that'll solve some of your problems. No pressure. I'm not going to sell you on this, but we can talk about what it is and see if it's a good fit for you. And either way, whether I invite you to join me or not, like I'm going to make sure I help you out in the next step so that you can go on your way and make some progress. Okay? So then when you get them on that call, because again, we got to pre-qualify them to make sure that they are a good personality fit, that they're in the right spot in their life where they can actually take action on this stuff, and that you enjoy working with them, because it's got to be about you enjoying it, right? Otherwise, you're not going to deliver. You're really not going to show up properly if you don't love these people. And you can't love everybody. Everybody's made different. Like, we're not supposed to gel with everybody. So you have those pre-qualifying questions on your scheduling link. You vet those questions, which are probably going to be great answers for you because they've already been following you. You've already been showing up in this way that they need help. And then they answer the questions, and then now you've got some context. Now you've got some background on them, and now you know where they're really hurting specifically. So you get on that call and you lean into those things, and you find out more about those things. You ask very pointed questions about what their goals are, what they've been struggling with, where they were hurting, what they planned to do next. Like, what if they don't work with you? What will they be doing? What is their, you dig in. You let them tell you what is really true for them. At the end of that, when you decide that they might be a really cool person to work with, and you know that you can help them, that's when you talk about, okay, well, I think I know that I can help you. And I do have a transformational program, start to finish, to help you get this result. Is that something you want me to walk you through and tell you about? Ask permission. And they're going to be like, yeah, of course, I want to know. Like, hello, I didn't waste my time on this call for you not to tell me. Give me the goods. So then you tell them about what this thing is, and you don't dive into all the details. You don't like spend 5 minutes talking about it. In a minute or less, you should be able to say, I go through a 4-step process. In the 4-step process, 1, we uncover this. In the 2nd step, we do this work. In the 3rd one, we uncover these things. And in the 4th one, we implement this and make sure that you're da-da-da-da. Does that sound like something that's going to work for you? Yeah, 100%. It's like you have a camera in my home. And you're like, sure do. I'll have the guys uninstall it by the time we're done with this program, though. And so you know your people, right? You know them through and through, so you already know what they need. So of course you know. So, and you've built this for that. So that's when you say, okay, are you ready to get started? I start at this date, or we can start tomorrow, or we can start whenever your schedule is set up to do this, right? And then they do. And they're like, yeah, okay, well, tell me how much it costs. And then you tell them how much it costs. And you can say, once you just say that, be unemotional about it. Guys, like, again, don't put your juju about money on other people. Don't make it weird for them on the call. Don't judge them and assume that they can't pay for it. That's rude. And if they can't pay for that and they really feel anxious about that, most of the time they will find a way if they need it. But if it's truly a financial concern, which it's not most of the time, it's only sometimes that that's really true. But if it really, really is, of course you give them grace for that. You never judge. You never, never be rude about that. Never put pressure on them because of that. Don't make it a thing. Just be like, that's okay. Here's what I think you can do in the meantime. No problem. And when you're ready, you can come to me. But if they're like, okay, well, that seems like I wasn't expecting that amount, but maybe could I pay in chunks? And then you're like, okay, I've got a 3-payment option. We can do it this way and this. And then you maybe send them a link that auto deducts once a month for 3 months or whatever. Or maybe the way that you set up is that you take a down payment and you take several payments over the next course of 6 or 8 weeks or whatever. Or you say, hey, I've got a financing option, and like you take on the risk factor for them, and you let them pay over a certain amount of time or whatever, extended past the length of the program, like whatever feels comfortable for you, and you just give them the payment options. Do not complicate the payment options, though, I beg you. That is another point of contention for people. They're like, oh, I don't even know what works best for me. And honestly, if you have the right qualifying questions up front in your scheduling link, like, are you ready to invest in yourself? Do you make the financial decisions for your business or for your life or for your whatever? And let them answer that, so that by the time you get on the call, you've already kind of eliminated some of the financial concerns that you might have in terms of obstacles or blocks in terms of converting the sale. It's not about the money, it's about the help that they need, and that's why they got on the call. But help them through the financial piece of it. Like, some people will give a PayPal finance link. Like, hey, you know what? PayPal has 12 months interest free. You can go on, here's the link for it. I'll stay on the call with you, and I think that you get approved in like 3 to 5 days. If you do get approved, they'll fund your account in the next like 10 days, 14 days, whatever it is. And that's when you can notify me that you have the funds, and we can go from there. And then we can get started as soon as you're ready. And they're like, okay, like, that's cool. Like, you just give them options that make sense, but do not overwhelm them. I would say no more than 3 options ever. A pay up front, a little bit pay over time, and maybe let them know about a credit option. But again, like Amy said, do not put that on them about like, well, you probably couldn't afford me. So I can afford whatever I want to afford if I want it bad enough. You know what I mean? Like, we can all find a way. Like, I saw a post yesterday that somebody was walking out. How you want to get $1,000 by the end of the month? Here are the things that you can likely cut out of your budget this month that you might not know you're spending on. Boom, 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 boom. Guess what? In 30 days, you got $1,000. That's what I'm doing, and I'm going to Cabo next month. And it's like, yeah, I really could get $1,000 as easy as that. So think about that while you're going through it, and try to get over the money issues that you might have that could be sabotaging you in those calls that you take. Kayjon says, Sandra's allergic to entrepreneurs making excuses, not dropping value, and getting clients. That's why I have an allergy. F pollen. It's not about pollen. It's about entrepreneurs making excuses. Barf. Wait, not barf, sneeze. That's an allergic reaction, right? Can people barf from allergies? I don't know this. I'm not good enough about allergies. I don't know. Amy says, truth, learn quickly in photography to pass up red flag clients you don't enjoy. Ooh, and in photography too, Amy, isn't that true? Like, you got to be a little bit intimate with people in a photo, like in a shoot, in a session, because you're like up close and personal. They have to be vulnerable enough to like feel themselves when they're with you, so that you can take a proper shot of them. Not worth the headache. Money is not worth peace of mind. Man, listen, I had a client that was paying me 5 figures a month for 4 phone calls a month, because that's what we were doing. We're doing some high ticket stuff, high level coaching, 6 weeks in, I was like, why the heck did I agree to this? Why did I sign up for 4 months of this? I got to drag through the next 3 months. Oh my Lord, not worth the money. 5 figures a month. Most people would be like, yeah, I'll do what it takes. Not until you get into that spot where you don't enjoy that person. No money could make you feel good, because it's a health issue at that point. Like, it's like that Sunday night feeling where you didn't study and you're going into Monday knowing you got an exam first thing in the morning, first period. That's that feeling that you get when you start working with somebody because of the money and you don't gel with them. That's the feeling you get. Be prepared for that. That's the real stuff. Hey, Christian. Are you in a boat right now, Christian? Christian works on the Hudson River. Is that right, Christian? In a huge barge. Am I saying that right? And he forgot the hitch so that all of his crewmates abandoned ship. Wait, that's got to be wrong. You said something about that yesterday. Wait, which link are you talking about, Christian? I will send it to you for sure. If I'm confused. I don't even remember what I just said. Did I get out? Monica? No, I didn't get out of it. I followed through with the promise, like with the agreement, to support her because I agreed to it. That's on me. That's on me for not vetting her. That's not her fault. That's on me for saying, well, I know I can help her. She's not like the easiest to work with, but I'm gonna show up. Big mistake, but that's my fault. So I stayed with it and I made sure that I helped her. She got great results, but it was just an enormous drain on my body, on my mind, on my sleep, on my mental state, like all of it. So I just can't say that enough. It's really important. So the full-blown effect, right, guys? What's better is the main core offer. What's better is to ditch the a la carte pricing, the low, medium, like the little step-by-steps. What's better is the full-blown transformation. And the hack around this a la carte and menu stuff where you're like, yeah, but how, I gotta be a little bit flexible, right? Not really. I mean, like by the time they get to you, if you've been giving this free value and this awesome content and these super helpful tips all along, that should get people up to if it's good enough, that should get people up to the level where they're like, I'm ready for the full-blown transformation. Enough of this dabbling. I've tried your stuff. I get it. It works. I know it. I see it. Just give it to me. So by the time they get there, you're talking about the transformation that you offer. Now you can have something if which is a smaller percentage, if money is truly a block for them and they really can't figure it out, I would give them suggestions on how they might figure it out if they want it bad enough, and just not saying it in a mean way, but like, hey, listen, there are different ways that you might want to approach this if this is something you truly want, and give them ideas about how to, find that money or raise that or whatever. But if money truly is in the way and you're like, okay, I have this, like a digital course, for instance, I'm not going to be walking you through it. It's got all the information in sequential order, but I'm not there to support you. But that will give you the steps. If you can apply those and if you can stay accountable with somebody, like do that thing, right? That's a downsell option. And some people will, these are the 10% at either end, right? The 10% on the lower end that are like, I can't, but I want it. And then the 10% at the top that are like, cool, I love your transformational offer. What else you got? And you're like, oh, what? And they're like, I want more attention. I'm willing to pay for that. And you're like, okay. So you give the one-on-one option potentially for something like that. One-on-one is a great upsell for the right clients, for a client that you totally vibe with, that you're like, yeah, that would be actually fun to show up every week with you. And I really love I love what you're about. I love the transformation that you're undergoing. Like something about you and your lifestyle, I'm just like into it. Like I will support the heck out of this. Then you can offer that. So in terms of the value ladder, now you have something smaller. You have this big core transformation that you talk about all the time. And you have this upsell offer for the people who want that. But you're not marketing all of these things, okay? You're marketing the core offer. You are marketing the transformation. And once you get them on the call, you're qualifying them, you are vetting them, you're interviewing them, you find out what they really need, what their life's about, who they are, where they're at, all of that, so that when you pitch the transformational offer that they've been hearing all about, if they're the 10% that need a downsell to get them started, or they need an upsell and they're like, yeah, I'll take your transformation, but I'll raise you some one-on-one. If they're one of those, then you have that covered too. But you don't need to waste energy confusing your marketing by talking about all these other things when what you need to be doing is putting on blast the whole world about your transformation that you can give to people. Does that make sense with you guys? Is that like, honestly, like, am I explaining that well enough where that's like, oh, I see the difference and I feel good about that, or that makes perfect sense. And Christian, like your tugboat. It's probably not a tugboat. Is that a yacht? I can't see, but where are my glasses? let's go full-blown Harry Potter on it. Alex said, yes, I teach. It's not the person you fail to hire, it's the person you fail to fire that hurts us more. Absolutely. Yeah, applies to staff and customers. Dude, the wrong staff is brutal, man. God bless them, but ugh, suck the life right out of the whole office. And then from my frugal Cabo friend, my brother's in Cabo right now. And in order not to be jealous of him for being in such a climate, I'm making fun of him instead. You're a wizard, Sandra. Can I draw safely a big lightning bolt right here? Make everybody happy. The fewer options to mess around with, the better as far as my brain goes. Amy, preach, boo. And truly, like for people like us, Amy, it's like, definitely help me focus on one thing that I actually need, and you're the expert, so tell me what I need. Stop making me guess. But also for everybody, right? We're just so distracted. It's just insane. So that's why preaching the transformation offer that you have and letting that be the core thing so that your social media audience isn't confused as they are bouncing all over social media, seeing all the things, notifications, checking, doing their life, doing their kids, doing whatever. But it's also about it's also about just people need simple. People are overwhelmed. People that have real struggles are more overwhelmed. So if you have the ability to make it simple wherever. Like, I'm all about simplicity for scaling. Systems, simple systems, simplicity, always. That's how you can scale. That's how I work 32 to 34 hours a week. Like, that's how I do it. Systems are your best friend. And when you're not putting systems intentionally into your business that are efficient, helping you automate, helping you delegate, helping you, multiply your efforts, being more efficient, more productive, it will be a struggle. It will be a bigger struggle. It will take you longer to get to where you want to go. So systems, you don't have, man, the people that are like preaching, I talk about this all the time, people that are out there being like, it's the hustle for me, I'm gonna put my grind on. I don't talk like that because the hustle and the grind are such negative words. It's such negative connotation. Like, when you say hustle and grind, I'm thinking either a 90s club, creepy guys, or I'm thinking you're in the gym and you're hustling, or like you're grinding it out with the weights. Like, that's the language I'll use and apply. But I'm not talking about, like, business gets to be fun, man. Business gets to be simple. I show up online and I have you guys who are super fun and super inspired and super driven and action takers and stuff. And I get these messages, like, my team's hysterical too. Like, and I have so much fun online and I get things done because we have really good systems, and I show up where I'm needed the most, and everybody's doing what they're best at and everybody's getting rid of what they're not best at. So everybody's like highly productive, highly efficient, less stressed, working less hours, doing more life, hanging out with their family more, putting more energy into their business because they have all that. Like, I show up so much happier and so much more fully, and I enjoy every task that I do for work because it's fun, because I don't have to do the crap I don't want to do, because I focus 80% on the stuff that actually provides a return for the business versus dabbling, half-assing, kind of finishing, worrying about this. If I'm spending longer than 30 seconds worrying about something, I need to move on. So, I mean, it's not productive. It's not helpful. Like, maybe I'll ask if I'm worrying about something, I'll ask somebody else the question, get it off my plate. Maybe they provide me with an answer or like a better solution or some kind of like something that fills the gap. But business gets to be fun. So people that are really, really stressed out with their business and they're like worried all the time and they're feeling like it's so frustrating, it's so confusing, it's not working. Systems. That's what we're building on, like with this training too. And I'm going to show up tomorrow and I'm going to show up the next day and we're going to do it again. But it doesn't have to be so hard. Stop making it hard. If it's really hard, when people are like, yeah, business is hard, sometimes I'll hear my team say things like that. And I'm like, correct your speech. Business is not hard. Some things in business are a challenge, but I really feel like it's a fun challenge. It's like it's like a puzzle. I get to figure this thing out. And there's always a solution. There's always an answer. There's a billion people who've done these things before you. You know what I mean? So maybe not a billion, maybe a million, maybe 50 million, honestly. So it doesn't have to be hard. It gets to be easier, it gets to be simple, and it gets to be a heck of a lot of fun. It really does. I have the best work that I do. I get to help people. I get to help them make breakthroughs. People cry a lot in a happy way. Like, I'm so excited, this changed my life. Like, you get to show up for that? Are you kidding me? Like, what kind of better fuel do you need? And it turns out that rocket fuel is kerosene. What kind of better kerosene is there? Was anybody else surprised by the fact that jet fuel is actually kerosene? Did anybody else like me think ignorantly that kerosene was an ancient fuel type from like the Midwest in the 1800s? I don't know. I don't care enough about school anymore to know that. So just want to check my bullet points to make sure I hit everything for you guys. Oh, here's the other point with these transformational offers. Hey, Michelle, both Michelles. Bonito. I always want to say it like that. I love your last name. Barge in a tug. My business partner was wanting to start with a low-ticket Zoom subscription. I wanted transformation. Boom, you just solved the problem. Market transformation and extend Zoom subscription to those who completed transformation for ongoing. Yes, Amy! Amy just made a breakthrough in her business decision-making because she knows what's good. She knows what's going to get her there and get her clients there faster. It's amazing. Yeah, Alex, power and simplicity and clarity for sure. Oh wait, where did you say? Sandra's devastated that it's not extreme gas technology. I am. Between this pollen reaction and the information about kerosene being jet fuel, I'm extremely devastated. This has been a hard week for me, guys. Kerosene is ancient. Prove me wrong. Somebody send me a link to prove me wrong, please. I don't want to do the work. Okay, so as you're doing these transformational offers, I just want to keep you on alert that for every transformation that you provide, please get a testimonial if you can. It's when somebody's happy with your services, when they have completed a program or a service offering with you and they're happy and you gave them what they asked for, you delivered on your promise, ask them for a testimonial. In my opinion, I'm so happy, I'm so free to give testimonials to anybody who helps me. I give nothing but good Google reviews. If I have a bad experience, I don't give a bad Google review because I just feel like people need a pass. People need the entire business isn't responsible for those one-off situations that might have sucked for customers. It's not there. They can't see everything, and it doesn't have it. To me, it doesn't reflect on the entire business. But if there is an individual that's a problem, I might email and let the manager know, like, hey, this is a really terrible experience. You might want to look at that. But I'm not going to put them on blast. I give really good reviews for good service, especially when people go above and beyond. My Google review is stupid long. I'll throw pictures. I make sure people see it. I do whatever I can for people. So ask those testimonials because it really offers that good faith, that social proof to your future clientele to say, hey, don't take it from me, take it from them. And when those people who are looking at your stuff, considering whether or not you'd be a good service option for them, they're looking at the testimonial and being like, wow, that person struggled with the same thing in the same way as me. They trusted her, it worked. Maybe I can give her a call. Maybe I can believe it. You know what, maybe I'll reach out to that person and see what their experience is like. That happens a lot for me. A lot of people will get in touch with the people who have worked with me, without me even knowing it, and being like, hey, what did you think about working with Sandra? How was that for you? What was it like? Is she super hard on you? Is she really easy on you? Does she really provide the support that she says? And those people will tell her it is. Yeah, here's what it was like, and here's what I came from, and here's what I got to with her. And then I find out that conversation happened later when I have a new client. They're like, oh yeah, I talked to so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, awesome. So show up fully for these people. Get those testimonials when you can, because it really helps offer that safety, that good feeling, that security blanket for the people who are really dying for a transformation and just don't know who to trust. Testimonials are gold. Obviously, you can say what you say and people can hopefully trust you if you're being authentic, but get the testimonials along with your transformational offer. Be specific about that so that they can understand that is the transformation that helped them. So, I want to make sure that I get this. What time are we at right now? 10:17. We got a little bit more. I usually budget about an hour for these things to make sure that you guys get what you need. But okay, so when you're building your transformational offer, I'm going to go fast for this, guys, because I want to get it through, and I know we've taken a little while, but I really wanted to make sure that you guys understand the reason, the psychology, and the importance behind ditching the a la carte menu and going for a transformational offer, flagship offer, core offer, whatever. But how do you build that? Typically, I've said this before, typically the people that you're serving right now, you've probably been in that spot before, which is probably why you're passionate about it. And maybe you haven't, but imagine that you have. And then you can insert yourself in here even if you haven't, and you can follow along. But if you're the person that has already gone through this, if you're like, oh, I lost 60 pounds, I've kept it off for 10 years, this is amazing, my life has changed in all of these ways. What was it like for you in the beginning? What did you feel like? Where were you? What was the first step you took, Laura, You're on vacation and you're hanging out with me. I love you. What was the first step that you took? What was the first task you did in order to get to that next spot, that little bit of relief that you took? Then where were you? What was that next thing that improved the process for you, or that where you noticed significant help and improvement from that thing? Sometimes this takes an hour, 2 hours, a couple days to map out, because sometimes you have to go back. You're like, dang, I've been living a better life for like 15 years now. What was it like in the past? Shoot, I got to think about this. And you have to sit down and really consider, then what happened? Then what happened? Then what happened? Those are your steps. Those are your transformational steps from I'm in this big struggle pit to freedom, sunshine, relief, enlightenment, whatever on the other side. Step by step by step process. So mapping out that full step-by-step process in terms of mindset, tasks, activities, strategies, whatever it takes to get them to the other side, that's going to be your transformational offer. So if you don't have one and you've just been doing menu, a la carte stuff all over the place, start creating the transformation that way. So walk yourself through it. Hey, Courtney, walk yourself through it from the beginning to the end. That's your higher ticket transformational core offer. They're going to need steps to follow. You are going to have a program that is catered to all of the different individuals so they can go through it and experience the same thing. It should be systemized like that. That is how you can scale something. It is impossible to scale with just you and one other person if you're doing one-on-ones. Now, you can make a significant income. You can definitely make 6 figures or 7 if you're doing high-ticket one-on-one coaching all year long and that's all you do. You might experience burnout. Most people will experience complete burnout and they'll just want to quit at some point. Doesn't matter if you're making 6 figures or 7. At that point, again, it's about like energy and what you have to give and how you're completely freaking drained and how you sometimes take on that responsibility of the client, even though it's their responsibility to take action on the things that you're coaching them with. So that's why I'm saying systemize this thing so that you can scale it, so that you can start delegating tasks around it, so that you can grow, so you can reach more people, so that more and more and more and more people can experience this relief. It's about scaling to help. It's not about scaling to hoard cash. Right? I know you guys feel me on that. I know I don't have to hit that hard, but that's important to conceptualize, because if you can picture one person that's received your help, and then you can picture all of these bodies like in an auditorium setting or something that you've helped. Imagine sitting with all of them being like, oh my goodness, this is what life is like for these people because I decided to step through fear and make the thing that would actually help them and price for it properly. They invested, and look how happy they are to give me that money. Look how happy they are that they spent the money on me. And their return on joy, their return on health, their return on investment in terms of cash, finances, they're so happy. They were so happy to pay me. I'm so happy I'm doing this. I got to do it more. Picture that, because that's the end game. The end game is to make this impact in a big way that affects people's lives in a generational format. Because if they know what to do now because of you, you think they're going to teach their kids that? Of course they are. They're going to teach their friends too. They're going to like spread the good word. So that's how you want to scale your business, and those systems that we talked about, systems for your marketing, systems for your selling, systems for your scheduling and productivity and efficiency, systems for the actual scaling itself. You need systems so that you're not working 40 hours a week. Plus, if you're an at-home entrepreneur, most of us are, like, do it the right way. Live a good life, have the freedom, be available for travel, be available to be like, well, I guess we could go away for 2 weeks, but like I do have some commitments. But I'll just bring my computer and I'll carve out certain pockets just for that. And maybe I'll just batch them all on one day. So I just have one day of vacation where I'm working like 8 hours. No big deal. Great. Like this is the freedom that you should be enjoying. You shouldn't be waking up early and like, oh, I'm still working at 9 o'clock at night trying to figure this out. Focus instead on the 80% that's going to drive revenue. We talked about that day 1 and day 2. And if you have day 3 today, the transformational offer, this core offer that gives people that full-blown experience where they're on the other side of it, then it's easier to market that. If you have clarity on that, if you have clarity on your core transformation and what that looks like, where you could walk that through with somebody and strategize with them and talk about that and lay it out in a simple way, where you're like, I do steps 1 through 4, and this is how we do it, and these are the subjects that we go through, the modules, the containers, like 1 through 4, and that's how you get to the other side. Happy to talk to you about it. We can jump on a call for that, no problem. Otherwise, keep looking at my free stuff, keep following along. If you're ready, I'm here. That's how you do it. And if you're focusing on those conversations and those sales activities 80% of the day instead of 20% of the week, you're going to start seeing serious results, and you're not going to have to work more than 30-something hours a week. Sometimes people are working 15 hours a week doing this stuff, guys. It's not that hard as long as you have systems. What's wrong with chiropractors? They wouldn't let me bring my dog in the office. Well, I don't know what's wrong with those chiropractors. My husband's a chiropractor, and he's brought dogs into the office. People bring dogs all the time. And it sounds like Canada's falling apart, Andrew, in every way. I'm so sorry. Sounding the alarm. Dude, do you have the Jamaican air horn? I need that in my life so bad. So there are the content that converts into clients, the activities that calls in the clients, and the transformational core flagship offer that you have that really solves the problem. All the other things that you give them in a menu or a la carte are Band-Aids. All of those things are solving a symptom of the problem temporarily. Don't do that to people. Don't offer those things to people in like when you're connected with them. Well, you could have, if you know what they're really hurting with, if you know how long they've struggled, if you know they've tried X, Y, and Z, or like A through Z and they haven't gotten it yet, let them know what they actually need. Let them know that there's relief on the other side of that and make the offer. And don't pretend that if they can't do it or if they say no, that it has any reflection on who you are, the price of your program, or how good you are. Don't do that. That's a mistake. Has nothing to do. Rejection protects you from the wrong people. Rejection protects you from the wrong timing. Rejection is like bumpers on the highway of life. So it's good. And rejection teaches us things. And again, if you're focusing 80% on the sales activities throughout the day and throughout your week, the rejection isn't going to mean anything because it's like, yeah, rejection statistically, you better expect it. It's going to happen. Of course it's going to happen. Who cares? Whatever. Like we expect it. Big deal. Do you expect to get stopped at a red light? Do you make it mean something about who you are? I didn't get the green lights all the way through. Can't believe I didn't get all the green lights. I'm a worthless human being and I probably shouldn't be driving anymore. I knew this would happen. Maybe they're just red lights so that you don't get hit by a car that's coming through that wasn't look. I mean, do you know what I mean? It's like, come on. So that is the thing your business is probably missing. And I want you guys to create that. Like if I give you any homework tonight, it would be map out the steps. Map out the steps from start to finish. What does that transformation look like for you? Create a system and a method that everybody can go through so that they all have and enjoy and can talk about the same experience in a way that bonds them, that forms a community, in a way that they can talk about their friends so their friends expect this thing and that that's what they get because it's systemized, it's a method, it's proven. You don't have to change it. You just enjoy it and support it with them. So hopefully that was helpful. Guys, tomorrow is going to be another training. Tomorrow we're going live on how to scale your business. Who's ready for that nonsense? I am, because scaling your business provides freedom of time. It provides financial freedom. It provides the ability to give abundantly to other people. And my favorite, and if you've been watching me, you know this is my favorite. When you have extra income that's like, it's like, oh, this is fun money now. And you can surprise people by way of never letting them know that you paid off a bill of theirs or the layaway stuff or going to the mechanic shop and paying a bill for somebody who's like, I can't do it, and you prepay the thing that you know they need but they can't afford right now. Like that stuff, or paying for somebody's groceries to get delivered when you know they're in a really rough spot. Aha. Okay. Like that's where life gets super, super fun. That's where like you get this, I mean, for me anyway, like I love to give in those ways where it's a surprise. I love surprises so much. So when you can surprise people like that and you're like, my money is going in a good place. My money is going to work. My money is reinvested in my business for sure. And I'm going to reach more people and I'm going to help more people do the same thing. But like I get to really help people in a personal way in my small little community, physically and like geographically. I can do this. And you can also do that like extended ways across the seas. Like, you know, we've got electronic payments all over the place now. So you can do things for people in ways that light up their life and that help them. And I don't really consider that a charity. I really consider that more like showing up and loving people hard. So yeah, Michelle, joyful surprises. So that's like one of my drivers for scaling is I know I can reach more people and they can have this solution for their business and they can change all these ridiculous amount of lives and this special thing that they do. But also like I get to do a little extra for people that need it, for people that need help, and they don't ever have to know it was me. God, it's so fun. Okay, that's Jesus working through people. So, Amy, good. I'm so glad that was helpful today. Courtney came in late. I'll go back and watch the replay. Yay! Yeah, I think you'll like it, Courtney. I think this is going to be good for you. the red light analogy. Rosie the Riveter on that, Christian. I love it. So guys, tomorrow we're going to talk about scaling your business. Are you ready? Are you ready? Who's going to play with me? 9:30. This is before my brain starts really working. So I appreciate your patience with me and the sidetrackingness and stuff. And hopefully I stayed on track enough for you guys to follow. But do bring your pens for tomorrow. We're going to have some fun tomorrow, and we're going to get real. So have the best Wednesday. It's midweek. It's an awesome day. I hope it's sunny where you are, but if it's not, who cares? Bring the sun yourself. It's your responsibility. Okay, I love you guys. Thanks for showing up. I'll see you tomorrow.